And I think we're live. Just give me 1 minute, okay? I have a lot of problems with my YouTube, man. Just give me 1 minute, okay? I think someone's already live. If anybody is live, you can comment. If nobody's live, that's fine. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Crusader says namaste. Okay. Namaste, Crusader. I don't know if I can type in this. See, the problem is this is my first live, so I don't know if this is actually going as planned or if I'm having some technical issue. I don't know if my audio is even audible, right? So I'll take some time to figure this. Okay, three people are watching. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I have a few things to discuss. Okay, 1 second. Okay, yeah, all right. So yeah, like I said, this is my first live. Welcome to the Labyrinth, and I'm glad that after 11 months after starting this channel, I'm finally doing a live, and so far it's been going quite well. Today, I'll be talking a little bit about how the conspiracy community should behave. When I say should behave, I'm not trying to act like a school teacher or a headmaster. Just giving a few suggestions because in the past 1 year, because of what is happening, we see a lot of Indians making Telegram communities, looking into conspiracy research. Oh yeah, bust all the quacks here. Yeah, I'll try my best. That's what I'm trying to do with this. Uh, and I'll have to address the whole controlled op thing as well. So yeah, I'll talk about all that. So here are a few of my suggestions on what the conspiracy community should do instead of being purely obsessed with conspiracy theories and spirituality as well. This community is jointly known as conspirituality community. Now, okay, it's fine. It's good to know that you know a lot of things that normal people don't know. But what do you do with that? What exactly do with was? I mean, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that having all this knowledge is not enough if you're not practical. I've met people in the past few months. There was this. I'll give you a few examples. There was this one guy who had heavy fever. He had like 99 100 degree fever, and I told him, hey, you might have to go to a doctor or you might have to take care of your health. And you know what he told me? He told me it must be this 5G tower in my street, or it must be that 5G tower in my area that's giving me fever. If you have that kind of a mentality, you're going to go crazy. Eventually you're going to go crazy. So you need to be a little bit more practical. And it's nice to scream and shout on Twitter and Telegram community saying that, oh, government is not listening to us, the whole media is lying, AIM is not doing enough, Johan Tengra is part of controlled opposition, Sanampur is part of controlled opposition, and all of modern medicine and all of virology is fake science. But you're not going to achieve anything by screaming and complaining. You have to take small actions, whatever it is. It might feel useless, but it's better to do that and get a good night's sleep rather than screaming all the time. Because a lot of the people in conspiracy community call themselves freedom fighters. They say, hey, you know what, we are very brave, we're very courageous, we're very fearless. I don't think these people are exactly fearless because most of them are addicted to their phones. They're on Telegram and Twitter all the time, screaming and crying. That does not look like a quality of a courageous person. And they're also not taking any action. So if you were honest about this, you would try to. I don't know. You would try to grow your own vegetables. You would try to form a community. You would try to understand how the government works. You would try to research on cryptocurrencies and how you can pay less taxes. But if you're doing none of that, and if you're merely behaving like a crybaby, if you're saying everyone's controlled op, every celebrity who does this and who does this, and all these weird hand signs are part of satanic, I don't know, some satanic cult. If you honestly believe in that, then you're screwed, because you're going to go in that whole paranoid angle, which will ultimately, it will ultimately put you in the mental asylum. If you don't want that, I'm asking you to be a little bit more practical. I'm asking each and everyone to be slightly more conscious of your words and your actions. Do you really believe in what you're saying, and do you really believe in each and every post that you're putting on Twitter and Telegram? When you say something like this person is controlled opposition or the whole world is crazy, do you really believe in that, or are you trying to gain attention? What is your intention in that? And now, as most of you already know, the fourth wave drama is going to start. So I would request each and every one of you to start preparing. They might bring back mask mandates, they might bring back lockdowns, they may make it, so mandatory for school students. So don't just sit there and send forwards, start taking small actions. Here are a few things that, as individuals or small groups, that you can do. If you have a small group of, say, 3 to 10 members, you can form small groups and go on the streets and maybe s- give pamphlets, go door to door, or you could, protest if that is possible, or you could go to your local corporator, tehsildar, DC. And Awaken India movement has done this in Mumbai and in a few other places. Here in Mangalore, we have our own group called Wake Up Mangalore. We have done a similar thing. We've gone to the local DC. We have, gone to the local commissioner, and sometimes we get successes and sometimes we don't. Sometimes it becomes a massive failure, and that's okay. It's better to do that than to be a crybaby on Telegram. I'm putting a lot of emphasis on the word crybaby, because that's what you are. You are not, just by, getting angry on Telegram, you don't become David Icke or Mark Passio. You just prove to others that you're a loser. Don't be a loser. Don't be a crybaby. Start taking action. Okay, Raga Ashish says, let's all truth seekers team up and be the change we wish to see in the world. Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, but here's what I would like to add. When let's all truth seekers team up. I'll be honest with you, man. It's very difficult to find like-minded people. It's very difficult to form a group. I think these actions we have to take these actions, but as individuals or or in small groups, we can't find 100, 200 people randomly like us. So we have to be more practical and ask ourselves, what can we do as individuals? So if you're an individual, if you don't have a group of people around you, here are a few things that you can do. You can start content creation. You can start your own YouTube channel, your own podcast, your own TikTok, Reels, whatever. You can start putting conscious content. It doesn't matter even if 10 people or 5 people watch it. That will make a bigger difference than sending angry forwards, trust me. You can even write blogs and articles. You can open an account on Substack is great, or even Medium, and you can start writing articles. And when you start writing, right, you will really get into the research. You'll start reading books. You'll start reading other articles from like-minded people, and that will make you smarter. It won't push you into an echo chamber on Telegram where everybody is screaming angrily. Don't get into those groups where 10 conspiracy theorists are screaming angrily like, oh, government is bad, oh. Like, you're not going to get anything from that. You have to, just calm down, relax, and start doing a lot of research. And I'm not saying that I'm some great researcher, and these this kind of research will take months or years. So in order to do that, you have to be more calm, and you have to ask yourself, what can I do as an individual? Because when we say like something like let's all truth seekers team up, It's I've been looking to start a community of like-minded people. It's hard. Okay, people talk a lot, people give a lot of suggestions. They'll say, hey, you do this, man, let's do this. I tell those people, okay, instead of giving suggestions, why don't you take this initiative? And they just go away. Everybody is ready to give suggestions. AIM has to do this, you have to do this, he has to do this. Why don't you take this initiative? And when this question is put into their face, they just run away. Nobody is willing to take the initiative. Everybody just wants to give a suggestion, and that's lame. Okay. And then these same people talk about freedom fighters like Bhagat Singh didn't sit in some room and send forwards all day. He didn't fight on Telegram. He actually fought. He sacrificed his life. He actually put in effort as an individual. And if you want to become a freedom fighter like him, you will also have to put effort. You will also have to put your life on the line, not just crib about it on Twitter. So apart from that, as an individual, you can also homeschool your children if you have children. If there are any parents here, I've made an episode on homeschooling. And there's also there's Indian Association of Homeschoolers. I think it's called swasikshan.com. You can find a lot of resources there. You can start growing your own food if that's feasible for you. If you're living in a big city, I know it's not feasible, but if you're living in a small town, or if you have a patch of land, you can start growing fruit trees. You can start planting vegetable seeds. Okay, Saksham says, sir, I try to put stories on Instagram to awaken my friends, but they unfollow me and don't watch only. I call them and try to tell them, but they don't want to listen. Tell some excuses and put the phone down. Exactly, Saksham. That's why I put forward the strategy of doing things as an individual. I mean, just look at history. We have so many heroes who had to do things as individuals. You can't expect your friends or your family members to understand these things. So you have to ask yourself. Just take a piece of paper and take a pen and say, okay, what can I do alone as an individual? It will take time for you to find like-minded people, 2 3 people. It may take months or even years. And but until then, you start taking action as an individual. And when you start taking action as an individual, other people will notice. You become like a magnet. And that's how you attract like-minded people. If you don't take action as an individual and merely expect your friends or your family members to follow your radical opinion, and let's be honest, these things that we're sharing, these are radical opinions. Now when we say something like, I think government is lying to us. I think taxation is theft. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to follow these mandates. 99% of the people are going to think that you're crazy. So there's no point trying to appeal to the masses. Let's just ask ourselves, what can we do as an individual or as a small group? Try, if possible, try to find 2 3 like-minded people. Otherwise, fuck it, man. Do this alone. There's no other option. Apart from homeschooling your children and try to grow your own food, you can, like I already mentioned, try to start a community for like-minded people. And avoid going to malls and theaters that once mandated the jab. Now in most malls and theaters, they've removed the vax mandates, and a lot of people are going back to the malls and theaters. I say don't go unless it's necessary for you to go to a mall or theater. Don't go to any malls and theaters, because you're indirectly giving money to the same institution that didn't mind discriminating against you a few months ago. There are so many alternatives to malls and theaters. You should rather go there than go to malls and theaters. And mainly try to stop paying taxes. I know it's not practical to just stop paying taxes because if you don't pay taxes, how will you survive? There's GST on everything. If you don't pay income tax, the IT office will send you a letter. So as much as possible, avoid paying taxes, because what is taxation? You're essentially funding the enemy, you're funding the government. And who's bringing these lockdown rules, who's bringing mandates, and who's harassing you on the streets, right? The traffic police. So when you're paying taxes, you're giving money to your own enemy. So as much as possible, avoid paying your own taxes. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I can think of right now. If you guys have any suggestions, You can leave them in the comment section. Okay, Saksham says, as a student who doesn't earn or has no backup of family support and no friends and no lawyers to fight with me, I tried to not give fine for mask, but he took me to traffic police station. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, that can happen. But I didn't know the traffic police collect fine for mask. I was not aware of this. Okay, yeah, these things can happen sometimes. Mm. So see, in that case, what I would say is be practical. Uh, don't be like a complete anti-government person, because we can't. Now here's what I would say. Now when there are some government rules that I follow, not because I think it's right. Now, for example, even if I don't want to wear a mask, or even if I don't want to wear a helmet, I wear them anyways, not because I think it should be forced upon me by the government, but simply because I don't want to pay a fine. Now, to Saksham, I would like to say, since this is a very difficult position. If you don't wear a mask, police will come and harass you. They will fine you. In such cases, wear a mask. Not no, you know why I wear a mask sometimes? Not because I'm scared of this disease or whatever. Just because I don't want to get harassed. We have to be aware of that. I'm not saying wear a mask to protect yourself. I'm saying wear a mask to not get harassed. And this might seem contradictory. You might think I'm saying the exact opposite of what I'm preaching. But in the society that we are living today, it is not possible to be completely idealistic. Okay, now I don't want to pay taxes, but if I don't pay taxes, you know what will happen? They'll come and harass me. The IT department will come and send me a letter. I may not want to wear a mask, but if I don't, again they'll come and harass me. So you have to look at the time and the place. You have to look at what power you have over them, and depending on the time and the situation, you do what you think is right. Okay, here in West Bengal, he took me there and asked me to bring my parents. Yeah, these things happen, man. I know these are foolish mandates. These are foolish mandates, but and most of the laws in this country are also foolish laws. But we have to do what is practical. Sometimes we have to follow these rules, even though they are stupid. We don't have a choice. But what I'm saying is, as an individual, let's try to improve our lives as much as possible. If you can go and live off grid somewhere, I know again living off grid is not possible, but if you can take a step in that direction, then you must pursue it. And these are some of the small steps, these are some of the small actions that you can take, like not going to the mall, not paying taxes. You can start creating your own content. Start trying to do all these small steps rather than being a be screaming on the internet. Like, there are a lot of people, I want to stress on this again, there are a lot of people on Telegram especially, who will say this guy is controlled opposition, this guy can't be trusted, government can't be trusted, media is not on our side. Even I used to be like this, but how long will you do this? How long will you continue cribbing about the world, right? Telling truth continuously will definitely work. It works with me. My friends start understanding conspiracy. Not in all cases, Gadi Singh. I'll tell you why not in all cases. It's different for different people. I'm happy that it worked for you, but for a lot of people, their friends leave them. Their family will start scolding them. If there's a police in their neighborhood, the police will start harassing them. Telling the truth, it it can have opposite effect also. But telling the truth is definitely a good idea, but you have to look at the time, place, and with which person you're talking. In different situations it will have a different reaction, but I'm glad it worked for you. So anyways, those are the few suggestions that I wanted to give. I don't have anything else to add. I think I've already been rambling for the past 20 minutes. This was my first live. So this was unscripted, more or less. This was unhinged. So I must have been stuttering a lot in the past 20 minutes, for which please forgive me. And if you found this live useful, share it with your friends. And I also want to thank each and every person for watching this live. And I'll read a few more comments. Okay, Raga Ashish says moving out of prison cities, which are already structured, and getting into agriculture in small towns and villages is my plan to avoid taxes, lower costs, and to become self sufficient. Excellent. Yeah, I completely second that. I think one of the main reasons why we feel very isolated is because we are living in cities. We feel very helpless living in big cities. We have to, find like-minded people, which is why I keep saying reject society, embrace community. Right now we live in a society where they're pushing, where they're telling us you have to follow these same rules that we are following, and if you don't, you're a fucking weirdo. And I'm not just talking about the government. I'm saying people in your own family, people in your own neighborhood, people in your own caste, community, religion, whatever. They'll tell you follow these rules, you know do engineering, or there are so many expectations that people have from you, and if you don't do those things, they will start treating you as an outcast. So if you want to avoid that, you have to find like-minded people and build a community, and you better start right now. Okay, that's one thing that I realized in the past 2 years, that if you don't have a community of like-minded people around you, you are fucked. Because it's easy for a lot of conspiracy theorists to say the world is going to burn, I'm going to be alone, I'm going to fight alone. You can't do anything alone, because we humans, we evolved in tribes. We used to live in tribes in forests, and then we moved to agrarian communities in villages. Alone there's not a lot you can do. There's an interesting quote in Game of Thrones: when winter breaks, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. So if you want to survive, you have to find a pack of like-minded people, otherwise you're screwed. So anyways, I think I'm done, and I thank you all for your comments, and I don't know, I thank the 6 or the 10 people for attending this live. This was my first live again. I think I'm repeating this again. That's it for tonight. And one last thing that I want to say to a lot of conspiracy theorists is, most of you spend too much time indulging in fear. Like, you guys keep saying, oh, these people who have taken the jab, they're going to get a heart attack. These people who have taken the jab, they're going to get brain stroke and this and that. Don't think about them so much, because conspiracy theorists, you guys say that you are courageous, you guys say that you're brave, but you guys talk so much depressing and fearful shit all the time. You guys are, all the time saying that, oh, everybody is lying to us, everybody is out there to get us. This is not the quality of a courageous person. If you genuinely believe that you're a courageous person, start behaving like a courageous person, and more importantly, start behaving like a practical person. Okay, that's it for tonight. I'm sorry that I rambled and stuttered a lot. All right, good night, take care.